Greetings, Intro to Cybersecurity students. This is your Professor Jeff Dunker coming at you for the spring semester 2020. Basically, what I want to do with this introductory video is just give you a brief understanding of the course itself and how to navigate through it to get to your assignments. So let's start out with knowing that you can always click on email your professor link over here in your Blackboard course, and that will email me whenever you have a question. You can also click on course information to get the basic information for this course. First item right up there is your course information sheet. So you can click on that, for example, and it's going to download, as you see here, and it'll open when done, or you can select open, and it will pop up in a second here. And when it does, I can show you that it has the course information, including my office hours, contact information, the course description, objectives, and so forth. So things to pay attention to are, the different items in the course. There's a hands-on projects, thinking critical exercises. Each one of these, you pick one of, as you see, you pick one hands-on project each week. You pick one thinking critically exercise. You don't have to do them all, so don't get overwhelmed when you see all the different options out there. Chapter and unit quizzes. Each chapter has a multiple choice type of quiz, so please take that to get yourself into things, but they're technically they're only 15% of your grade, but I highly recommend doing them for review. The final exam's worth 25% of the grade, so you'll have that at the final week of the course. But keep in mind, labs are your meat and potatoes. They are really good at building those skills for both desktop support and server support, so you understand and get real exposure to systems and how to navigate the server operating systems as well as Windows environments. So you're going to see in a few minutes how to access these labs, and just be aware of the grade breakdown here for the whole semester and how I determine the final grade for your overall grade. So A would be 93 to 100 and so forth. Keep in mind that there is multiple learning centers on campus, but the one that we have that's hosted with tutors is in Building 9 on the Brighton campus in room 264, and that's our ICT department that is hosted with various tutors throughout the week. The lab itself is open usually 9 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night or 10 p.m. Depends on the day of the week. Fridays we close at 5, and we're not open Saturdays, but we do have Sunday noon to 5 hours. So with that said, that's the basics of it. But at the back of the course information sheet, it also has the different unit breakdowns of what's due when. So you'll have your thinking critically each week to do. You'll have your hands-on project, maybe one lab or 2 labs, or 1 lab and 2 lab simulations. But all of those, in addition to the readings and the chapter unit quiz, that's what you have to do on a weekly basis. So just keep that in mind, and we'll exit out of the course information sheet. And notice that I've also applied the assignment schedule here underneath for easy access and review of what's due when. So that's the course information area. But the hunk of all material is under course content, and it's going to be organized by unit. So like I said, Unit 1's due the first week, Unit 2 the second, and they're due typically most Sundays by 11:59 p.m. There's a couple Saturday due dates because of breaks, so keep that in mind and review the assignment schedule regularly. But let's go into one of the units, for example. Before we do that, we'll go to getting started. And like I said, you'll be practicing a lot of labs, and they actually spin up live virtual servers. basically they're just remote servers that get spun up for your use and set up in a certain fashion for you to complete an exercise, complete a particular lab. So read the live virtual lab user's guide and do the basic getting started lab, just to make sure that your system meets the requirements and internet connection to complete the labs. If you can't, there's plenty of computers on campus where you can actually do all this work. But once you buy the printed access code from the bookstore, you'll need one of those to access all this material. The first unit is essentially accessible without the printed access code, but if you're going to be going into a lab the next week, it's going to ask you for that code, and once you enter that, you'll have complete access to everything. So please buy that this week if you haven't bought it already. So with that said, let's go back to course content, the main area. You can access it from that top thing or as well as the side. And we're going to go into Unit 1. Now, you don't feel overwhelmed with all these different links that are on the screen. Once you click on one of these MindTap links that have that icon, that particular icon, it'll get you into the material. So you don't have to navigate and click all these links. But be aware that each week you'll need to submit a Word document for the hands-on project and a Word document for the Thinking Critically project within Blackboard itself. Everything else will transfer over grade-wise from MindTap to Blackboard except these two items. So make sure to submit your documents in Blackboard for the hands-on projects as well as the Thinking Critically or Think Critically. So once you had your completed Word document or completed written assignment, you would see how it says Submit Here, Unit 1 Hands-On Projects, in brackets Submit Here. You click on that. And basically, you're just going to need to upload that file that you created, Word document, or in some cases, a PowerPoint or whatever, by clicking Browse My Computer link. And you just find the location where your file is. Let's say I had it on a USB drive, for example, and then I select a file and click Open. It will mark it for addition and upload to the system. So once you're ready, you can click the bottom button for Submit, and it will upload that document for me to grade and give feedback on for you. So that's how you upload documents to Blackboard. And let me just give you an example of clicking on one of these MindTap links so you can get into the content. So let's just click on Unit 1 Visualize, for example. And it's going to open up a new window for you. And it's going to say Cengage Loading Content. And it just takes a few moments. And it'll start clicking on the assignment for you. But let's exit out of this for a second and see what the main interface looks like for MindTap. This is how you can navigate through the whole system. And on the left, you have Part 1, Security and its Threats. If you click on that little arrow to expand all the activities, see how it says 26 activities? See how it becomes an up arrow from a down arrow? And we're going to see Unit 1's within that. And Unit 2. So this week, like I said, you only need to do Unit 1, so you'll want to do the Unit 1 read, and then underneath that, afterwards, there's the lab simulations. You'll need to complete both of those. Notice how in each section you have counts toward grade. That's pretty much an indicator that it's going to count for our course, and you're going to be graded on it. So you get to learn about various attack types this week, as well as configuring a Type 2 hypervisor, which is dealing with virtual machines, how to configure your own virtual machine, essentially. Then underneath that, you have a live virtual machines lab for managing local storage and virtual hard disks. You're going to learn how to configure different hard disk parameters this way, and your system resources. So after that, you have Unit 1 Study, review, reinforce, and practices to test yourself with a crossword. That's not graded, but it's just a way to drill down and reinforce terms. And under the Unit 1 Apply, you have that quiz, which is graded, and then the Think Critically. Now, like I said, you're not going to be submitting the Think Critically here, but once you click on that link, for example, for Unit 1, it's going to list out the different Think Critically exercises that you have a choice of. Remember, you only have to pick one of them. And let's just say start assignment now, and you'll get to see that there's different assignments. And you can select between them all and figure out which one you want to do. And then you can actually, give me the Word document separately within Blackboard, and we'll grade it that way. So, with that said, that's the basic overview of how to get to different parts within MindTap. And each week you'll be doing a different unit and complete those tasks. So, Part 1, Live Virtual Machine Lab. That does count toward the grade, so Social Engineering and Reconnaissance, remember, that's being done in Unit 2 as well. If you have any questions, let me know. But anything that says counts toward grade is going to count toward your grade, essentially. So that's a good indicator within MindTap of what you need to do. So let me get back to the window within Blackboard. There it is. I just exited it out. And like I said, the hands-on projects are submitted here. The Think Criticallys are submitted underneath. And you'll be doing that on a week-by-week basis. I'll be coming at you with different videos throughout the semester for tips, hints, and if I see any general problems arise, I'll let you guys know. But check your course announcements. I'll try to make announcements under there as well. That should do it. If you have any questions, you can always email your professor link, and I'll get the emails and respond accordingly. So have a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye.